kind of sudden. I think we were talking about signing up for another couple of years with our network, and suddenly just all came to the decision as a group that the whole family felt it was just time.
Kris Jenner is dishing on her famous family's decision to bring Keeping Up with the Kardashians to an end.
It just sort of came to us, and we thought, 20 seasons, 14 years, hundreds of episodes, and lots of spin-offs.
The 64-year-old momager stopped by the Ellen DeGeneres Show on Thursday, virtually, of course, and said the whole thing was kind of sudden, and she reflected over how much has happened since they started the show in 2007.
It's so weird to think that when we started the show, there was barely Twitter. There were no other social media platforms really, like there was no Instagram, there was no Snapchat, there were no grandchildren, people weren't married or divorced, or, it's just so crazy that all of this has happened, and to look back and think I have the most amazing home movies in the world.
And Kris admitted that the decision was super emotional.
We all got so emotional when we had to break it to the crew, because we've been with the same crew basically day one, season one, the first thing we ever shot. We're still with the same showrunner and the same production company. So it was really emotional because they're now like extended family to us.
But there was one member of the fam who took it the hardest.
I think Khloe was probably the one who was the saddest about it all. And actually, after we told the crew and everybody had gone home, Khloe stayed there with the crew for hours reminiscing about old times. And I'm like, Khloe, you've got to go home now, honey.
Yeah.
So she was pretty torn up about it.
And all this echoes what the show's executive producer Ryan Seacrest told ET earlier this month.
In talking to the family, this was a very, very hard decision for them to make. And I know even before and after the announcement came out, they were emotional. We were trading texts and emails after the announcement. And you look back at 14 years and 20 seasons of a camera in your life and think about that. At some point, you're gonna say, we did it, we had a great run, we're gonna live with a little more privacy in our lives. And I think they just felt like now is the time to do it.
Shortly after the news broke, Kris spoke with Ryan about the end of an era on Air with Ryan Seacrest.
You're going to make me cry all over again. I think the number 20, it used to sound good until 2020, but the number 20, it just seemed like the right time. I think for us to take a minute and breathe and everybody slow down a bit, not slow down professionally, but just, figure out what our next steps are.
And ever since the Kardashian Jenners announced that season 20 would be their last, people have been speculating that Kris's next step just might be another reality show. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, to be exact.
Tune in because you never know what's going to happen.
But Kris says not so fast, folks.
I think I would do it just to go on once in a while and be with my friend Kyle Richards. But as far as me doing a show like that regularly, there's just too much going on in my life. And they do not need a Kris Jenner on that show. They are doing just fine.
And just because Kris isn't down to be a Real Housewife doesn't mean she isn't down for another reality show. In fact, a source previously told ET, quote, the family isn't ruling out a show or shows in the future.
Like, I keep thinking that that's a lot of grandkids, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, Khloe and Tristan are hanging out a lot, so maybe more with them.
You never know around here.
Nope.
Like I said, I never count anybody out for the count. You never know what's going to happen.
Well,
I guess that's why we've been around for all these seasons, 20 seasons.
Yeah.